Yeah, see the first question and take 5 minutes. We'll discuss. Yeah. So, yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, explain the uprising of 1857. Explain how the uprising of 1857 constitutes an important watershed in evolution of British policies towards colonial India. So, what are you understanding by this question? They are asking you in what way 1857 made an impact on British policies towards India, and if in what way this can be considered as watershed. Watershed, how it is watershed. So first you need to mention in the intro about the Great Revolt of 1857 and how various groups came together for fighting against a common alien, that is British. In the body you'll write immediate change of British policies. Immediate changes. What are the immediate changes? Basically, immediate changes are Queen's, it's called as Queen's Proclamation. What did Queen say? No conversion by force. No kingdom will be annexed. So no annexation and equal representation in army. These are the three important immediate changes with Queen's Proclamation came, and then immediate change is end of East India Company rule. Now India became under British Parliament, and now this was headed by Viceroy and Secretary of State. So this was the immediate changes. But what were the long-term changes? Long-term changes against Muslims, because Britishers thought 1857 were because of Muslims, appeasement of Hindus, discrimination in army, increase of economic drain, okay, and then aggressively pursuing divide and rule. What else? What else you can write long term? Did we cover all the aspects in the long term? Aggressive pursuing of divide and rule. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So these are the things. And then in the conclusion, what you'll write, though the Great Revolt of 1857 did not achieve its desired objectives, it was successful in jolting the British. However, the policies of British changed for worse post 1857. That's all. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So yesterday we have done Ranjani, Santa Prasad, Hindu, Hindu. Hindu. So this will be much better answer if you, though it is a 150 words, if you can write as short term, long term, it will fetch you very good distinguish. So in short term, you can mention the points which we discussed. In long term, you can mention the points we discussed and then conclude. Okay, ma? Points are good, but you can add more points. See the second question. Critically examine various facets critically examine the various facets of economic policies of British in India from mid 18th century, that is from 1750 till independence, basically from when they have got the power. Various facets of economic policies of British in India. What are the various economic facets of economic policy? Take 5 minutes of time and give various economic facets, various facets of economic policy. Yeah. Yeah, various facets means the three phases. Okay, basically you need to write the three phases of British impact on the economic way, the economic policy, how British were in the three phases. That is from 1750 to 1947. So basically, intro you can say British who came as traders became rulers mainly through their economic policies. This can be your intro. And in the body, you will mention various phases. The first phase is where they were traders, picking up the raw materials, selling them in British markets, making huge profits. First phase. Second phase is when the impact of industrial revolution started, where raw materials were imported from India, finished products were dumped in India. What has this done? This has done disguised unemployment and ruined local artisans or manufacturing companies. Then the third phase, where British invested in India through cotton mills, jute mills, through railway investments, and this was popularly called as white man's burden. But however, it could not take off because British were apprehensive of investing in India. One thing is, there are two things. One is the problem from India side and problem from British side. Because third phase, British were feeling insecure. By developing India as good as British, the British will lose the monopoly. And India also did not have enough factors to take off this phase in India. So on the whole, the second phase, which is this particular phase, created a very negative impact on the balance of trade in India. And India, which used to hold 24% of the world export market, fell down to 1 to 2% by the time of 1947. So in the conclusion, you can write, at one point, India controlled 24% of the world export market. By the time of 1947, it was hardly having 1 to 2% share. And this particular outcome is because of the British economic policies followed in India. Clear?
Yes, sir.
You can talk about how raw materials were exported. Vasavi. Here it is good if you can mention these kind of terms. Disguised unemployment. You can say this third phase did not take off as expected. Conclusion can be better. As we discussed, what is the conclusion? It should be a very good conclusion as to how it impacted the share of trade. Vasavi, are you in the class? Vasavi is waiting. Okay, is it clear, Vasavi? Okay. See the third one. In many ways, Lord Dalhousie was the founder of modern India. Elaborate. He was founder of the modern India. Elaborate. Okay. Take 5 minutes and give what ways he was founder. Yeah. Anyone else wants to give the points? So, in many ways, Lord Dalhousie was the founder of modern India. That is the question. Elaborate. So you have to explain. So intro, you can say that Dalhousie was the Governor General of India up to 1856. And during this time, he has taken up many reforms. The body will write first educational reforms, Wood's Dispatch, 1854, establishment of colleges, Roorkee, then social reforms, widow remarriage, and he has also abolished infanticide. And then in other reforms, introduction of railways, introduction of telegraph, irrigation facilities, postal telegraphs, railways, irrigation facilities, public work departments, construction of capital at Shimla, summer capital at Shimla. So these are the important aspects. In the conclusion, you can write, while he has definitely modernized India to great extent, some of his controversial policies like doctrine of lapse were directly responsible for revolt of 1857. So if you see what we are trying to do, there is a particular trend which we are trying to answer in each and every which you are trying to answer in each and every question. What is the trend? If you see, the trend is the introduction part we are trying to substantiate, because this has been our practice for people who are newly attending the module or joined the module very off late. So the trend is like we are trying to substantiate the introduction by giving certain examples in the very first two lines. In the body, we are trying to address the core demand of the question. And in the conclusion, we are trying to bring an element of connectivity to the question, which is somewhere related to that particular personality or particular event or particular context. So here we are trying to support the fact that yes, Dalhousie was definitely crucial in making India a modern country, and we are substantiating it with proper examples with regard to education reforms, social reforms, other reforms, etc. But in the conclusion, we are saying, while he has done so much good, the bad he has done is something which is very significant and has led to the direct impact with regard to the Great Revolt of 1857. This is how we are trying to answer each and every question in the modern history. Is the approach clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Soumya, did you write this question? Why are you starting with, why are you starting with doctrine of lapse? It is asking about the positive impact of Dalhousie. So you can mention this in the conclusion, Soumya. Don't start with this point. Okay, good. Again, this is a controversial point, but it's okay. Yes. Points are good, but why did you start with doctrine of lapse? See, your conclusion can be your introduction. Here, simply you exchange your introduction and conclusion, then the answer will become very good. This should be your introduction. From this, we can say that Dalhousie was the founder of modern India in many ways, as he has laid direct foundations on many critical things of Indian history. In the conclusion, you talk about doctrine of lapse. That would be more clear. Of course, you can still add some points, but I am not complaining here because you have made decent effort. So it's a good attempt. Okay. Sorry, I have not shared your screen. Reforms were not for better administration, because British wanted only one thing. They wanted to have better control. Why was railways introduced? Railways was introduced to make the British goods reach the nook and corners of the country. That was the aim of. So this particular thing you should come at the last, Soumya. Points are good. I have seen the points. and this you should come at the intro. Okay, that will be good. See this. The women's question arose in modern India as part of the 19th century social reform movement. What are the major issues and debating concerns women in this period? Yeah, take 5 minutes. Have a detailed thought about this question. Very good question. So have a detailed thought and take 5 minutes and come back. Yeah. See the eighth question. The women's question arose in modern India as a part of 19th century social reform movement. So you can see how important these social reforms of 19th century are. Every year you are finding a question from this topic. So hence, don't skip this topic of socio-religious reforms of 19th century. What are the major issues and debates concerning women in that period? What are the issues? What are the debates? And then you can also mention one more dimension. People who tried to give certain solution for the issues. So you can write in intro, the impact of socio-religious reforms of 19th century were quite significant in bringing some cheer or some relief to downtrodden people of society as well as women. In the body, you will write directly coming to the core point, issues pertaining to the women, the Parda system, the Sati system, the widow treatment, how they were treated, no access to education, no access to education, discrimination in the society, and then high level patriarchy. Then what were the debates? Debates, and who started the debate? Why Sati? Why no widow remarriage? And who people who started the debates? Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar, Savitri Bai Phule, and then Jyotiba Phule. And people, what were the possible solutions to the women issues? Access to education through schools. 1829, abolition of sati. 1856, widow remarriage. 1890s, age of consent bill, so on and so forth. So in the conclusion, what you will write? The 19th century reforms were really a game changer with regard to the status of women in India, and they went on to play a significant role in Indian independence up to 1947 and also occupied some of the highest posts later on. So you see the conclusion again. We are trying to link these particular solutions to the future aspects and role played by the women. This is how you need to write answers, especially in the history. Clear? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Good. You can write few more reformers, Anil. You can write few more reformers. Okay, you can make your conclusion slightly towards the national movement also. Yes. So whenever there is a question on the 19th century socio-religious reforms, or as a matter of fact, when these are linked to the main questions, our intention should always be, because why we are reading socio-religious reforms of 19th century, be it the caste upliftment, okay, downtrodden caste upliftment, or be it with regard to the women's rights, be it with regard to the reforms in the Hindu religion. Why we are learning all this? Because they have direct bearing on the nationalism. So try to always bring the element of nationalism in your conclusion. That is what, as an examiner, someone is looking in your answer script. So always try to have that continuity in your conclusion. You have to explain the examiner what you are thinking in the introduction. Be very precise in your body and the core, addressing the core demand of the question. And in the conclusion or way forward, you will have an element of continuity as to what this particular context or subject has played a role in the next level of independence. That would be really impressive way of ending your answers. Any questions or doubts for today's class? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. We'll meet tomorrow.